Hello and welcome to the Talk with Tariro, a program that brings you all issues to do with us as human beings, looking at social, economic issues, but we have a special bias on health issues. Today, we are looking on the other side, looking at the issue of grooming and etiquette. It's not the first time that we have tackled this issue, but we thought it necessary to bring it back because we often hear people saying, when it comes to Zimbabweans, there's that is always missing. So it's always important that we keep reminding ourselves in terms of how best do we carry ourselves in different platforms. If I'm going for dinner, how do I carry myself? If I'm going for an interview, how do I carry myself? That's how you will then be able to stand out as an individual. And we've decided to bring a grooming champion, Primrose Nyakuwanikwa, who is a special friend to me. Prim, welcome to the Talk with Tariro.
Thank you, Tariro.
Yes, when we are talking about grooming and etiquette, what exactly are we talking about? Because we tend to loosely use the words interchangeably oftentimes.
Thank you, Terry. So, grooming and etiquette, grooming refers to the total package of a human being. And we talk of a neat and tidy appearance. At the same time, etiquette then refers to the actual behavior or expected conduct within any given society. That's grooming and etiquette.
And why are they important?
Because we give, I would say the first impression is also very important.
Yeah.
Because as you go out there, people look at you, look at the way you're dressed before they can say, okay, this is Tari, we know her. But have you ever had a situation whereby you meet someone for the first time and the first impression is that they don't like you? Reason being, you are not dressed properly, you're untidy, you're unkempt, etc. So it's important for you to possess a good self-presentation at first sight. That's why grooming is very important.
First of all, I would want to touch on a book that you have written. Is it On Your Look? What's the title?
Yes, it's a grooming magazine.
Yeah,
yes,
a grooming
on your look.
On Your Look.
Yes.
What motivated you to produce such a book? What had you seen that you felt, I think this is what I need to actually sit down, take my time, and write for Zimbabweans?
First and foremost, as we go to school, we don't get this type of life skills. So I felt like I needed to write something and document it that would help the next generation, help everyone else. Because at the end of it all, you realize that we don't get this type of a course in school. So I was groomed by Model Management International, and some of these courses we actually covered. But in the process, you know you've got your own touch points.
Yes.
Where you feel, if people can know about this, I think the whole nation can improve on certain etiquette and even beyond the borders.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that is my motivation for wanting to write that book.
What are the key issues that you highlight in that book? Because for somebody who has not had an opportunity to read that book, but would want you to unpack when we are talking about the whole process of grooming and etiquette, the whole theme, what are the key issues that would say this is important, this is a must know, this is a must do?
Thank you, Terry. I cover personal hygiene, which is the activities that we do every day to make ourselves clean and neat. So
tell us all those. What do we need to do when it comes to personal hygiene?
That's fine. So the tips I put down in the same book would include maybe bathing regularly. How many times does a person bath? And normally you have people that say, I bath once a day.
Yeah.
But we sweat. Our body is consistently shedding off a lot of sweat, a lot of other body, I'd say body fluids, if I can say. So if we bath once a day, it's not enough. We also have to bath twice. At the end of the day, when we come back from work, so that we allow also our skin to breathe.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to lotion up your body when you go to sleep. But
really?
a lot of the times you actually do that. Yes.
Won't it crack? Won't it crack?
Not even. You also have to allow your skin to breathe. But then Also depending at the intervals that you do lotion up and the type of lotion that you also use.
Yeah.
So yeah, it depends. And then in terms of washing our hands, we've been talking about COVID-19, and this has also actually helped our societies to actually wash hands all the time, and with soap and water, and washing our hands and rinsing properly.
Yes.
So a sanitizer, yes, it's okay in case there's no water, soap and water. Right, it's okay. But then whenever one gets the situation where you are able to find water and soap, then wash your hands properly.
Running water is always
Yes.
the option.
Running water. And then talking of brushing our teeth, same thing. It follows twice a day because we bath twice a day. Ideally, it's after every meal. But of course, our schedules may not allow that.
Yes.
But yeah, whenever you get the chance to, but twice is very important. In the morning before we go where we will be going, and then in the evening when we are done with our meals. And then we also have to rinse properly and for 3 minutes. And then I think we can also talking about sleeping tight. I know we have always had these hectic schedules, but it's also important to find time to rest because our bodies will actually burn out.
So sleeping is part of personal hygiene?
Yes, it's part of hygiene. Because if you don't sleep tight, tomorrow you wake up looking unrefreshed, looking like you're drained, baggy eyes, etc. It's a sign of someone who didn't sleep properly. So at the end of it all, if you do not sleep tight, you are going to have a rundown day in a sort of way where then all your activities are not really in place. Maybe you're late, you're not punctual, you know, so it's part of hygiene because you're also not going to allocate enough time to actually bath, enough time to even brush your teeth, even to do your makeup, you know, it takes a lot of effort, you know. So talking about personal hygiene, I think we also have to know that sometimes if someone looks a bit unkempt or they could be depressed, they just, you know, naturally we neglect ourselves when we do not, when we are stressed in a way. So our levels of bathing, wanting to look good, the confidence itself, it's just on the low. So it's important for us to be able to do these little things every other time and make sure that we don't put an image out there that I have not bathed.
So with personal hygiene, it's mainly your bathing, it's your brushing your teeth, it's
sleeping tight. I would say brushing and flossing actually, and then it's also I would say the washing of hands. We talked about that. Yeah, I guess, those little things
are quite important. So I'm sure we've picked 1 or 2 nuggets. If we're doing them right or wrong, if we're bathing once a day, if we're lotioning up in the evening, I don't know how I'll be able to not lotion after bathing because I just feel like my skin is cracking. But Prim is saying your skin needs to breathe as well. Join us after the break. We will touch on most issues. Particularly we have one issue of dressing appropriately when it comes to grooming and etiquette. Join us after the break. Welcome back. We continue with our discussion with Prim, where we are looking at the issue of grooming and etiquette. Prim, let's go on the issue of dress code. And I'm sure it's one issue that oftentimes you hear somebody being overdressed, underdressed, and some people are saying there's nothing is being overdressed. Maybe when it comes to proper grooming and etiquette, what are the issues when it comes to dress code?
Thank you, Terry. About dress code, remember we said you communicate with the way you look. And when you talk of communication, it's 55% physiology, which means the way you look is what contributes more to how people will judge you. So when we talk about the dress code, we are saying, I personally call it a positive business image. Why? Because it's supposed to convey a certain sense to you, the people that see you, who are your audience. So when you talk about being overdressed or being too underdressed, actually, it's when maybe I'll give you an example. You invite someone for a function, and there's a specific dress code that they're supposed to follow, and one decides to come not wearing that. So that would mean already you're underdressed, right? And then when you talk about overdressing, some people say, okay, maybe their personality is, they probably like flashy stuff.
Yes.
So there isn't a thing that we call overdressing. But as long as you're within the dress code, to the event you're going to. So I don't believe there's
so one can go all out.
You can go all out because you've been asked for a dress code.
Yeah.
But also when then people say maybe you're overdressed, it gets to a point where you're just talking about someone maybe just going to town, but you wear a dinner dress.
Yeah.
That's misappropriate, right? And at the same time, those people that will see you in town walking, you know, have you seen Nana Windy being funny, Achita's sister, you know,
all sorts,
and you know, just being and passing funny comments. So I believe that's when you're probably too much for a wrong, I would say for a wrong environment.
Okay.
Yeah, and then talking about dress code, there are quite a number of issues to look at. I would say there are some tips that I always share with people that I always talk to. Clothes should complement you. And when you say complementing, we are talking about your body shape, your size. We're also talking about your complexion and what you're wearing, the color that you're wearing. So at the end of it all, you're supposed to then look at it and study your body, study your features. You dress to conceal your advantages, your disadvantages, I mean, and then amplify what stands out on you. Yeah, so clothes should complement you.
I'll amplify kadumbu.
No. Apparently, if that is the feature that stands out on you, then it's okay, Terry.
Because we often see, you know, wearing this whole tight thing, and it becomes even uncomfortable to look at sometimes.
You see, that's a problem. And talking about that, when you study your body, you know what hairstyle to put on. Because you know your facial shape, your facial type.
Sometimes people don't know. How do I get to then know that with my face, or even to say, do I have a round shape or whatever?
A square.
Yeah, a square face. Sometimes we actually don't know. How do we get to know? Because that understanding my body thing is it's not easy. Sometimes we think it's easy.
It's complicated. I hear you. So apparently, when you look at your face, you can see whether it's the shape of an egg, which is oval, right? That's round, right? And then when you say you've got a square face, then it means this the sort of hairstyles that one is supposed to then go for. If it's a round shape, like mine is actually round.
And mine?
Yes, yours is also round. Therefore, long hair will do, you see.
Okay.
And then for square ones, you can even afford your short weave, you know, because your face then can accommodate all that. So that also goes with earrings. When you have a round face, certain earrings will actually fit you. No, I'm not picking on you today. We'll talk about it. So it means studying yourself, knowing exactly what can fit you, what cannot fit you. And when you talk of body shapes, there are people who are maybe big at the top and small at the bottom. So how you balance your figure is you wear something loosish at the bottom and something tight at the top. And solid colors would actually make you look much smaller. So where you know you are bigger, that's where you wear a solid color, and black, navy blue are actually very good colors in terms of toning your wrong aspects, right?
Okay.
And then clothes should have quality.
Yeah.
And when I talk about quality, I'm not saying go and buy labels.
Yeah.
It means you are just presenting something clean, something ironed, and something that has got a present day look.
Yeah.
Not for one to say you've got your dirty clothes and you're thinking quality would mean I should go and buy a label.
Yeah.
No. So labels are not what I'm saying. And we are not giving anyone pressure right now to say go and buy this, go and buy that. Truth is, quality means if you washed what you're going to wear Have you worn it properly? Is it ironed properly? And you convey a certain style.
Wow.
Yeah.
And looking at that, the dress code and then the positive business image now, where's the link?
Okay. The positive business image is where now we're saying, as a corporate woman, what are you going to wear? And when you wear it, do you wear it properly? And talking of going to the office, you wear your makeup, you wear your solid colors, depending on the corporate dress codes that people actually go through.
Okay,
right?
all right. We will continue with the discussion after this short break. Join us. Welcome back. We'll continue with our discussion where we are looking at grooming and etiquette. So, Prim, when we are looking at the issue of positive business image and wardrobe planning, where is the link?
Thank you, Terry. So, when you talk about a positive business image, you having studied yourself, having studied how your body will fit certain things and not fit other things. What it means is you now have to go and start planning your wardrobe, where then you're able to say, okay, this kind of style will not fit the type of legs I have, if it's a dress or a skirt or even a trousers. And then you look at other tops that may not fit you. Remember, we said if you are big, you can't wear floral because it only amplifies how big you are. And if you wear baggy stuff. So what I'm saying is, with that, the link is you're able to then shop according to your body type, your first shape, everything. So that's basically the planning aspect. Someone who's very organized will actually know that this type of thing cannot fit me, and this type of shoe will not fit my toes, or those kinds of things. So it's important to plan. Then talking about the formal environment, obviously one should have a coat, formal coat, black one, for that matter, because normally it will blend with everything else. And just to talk about that formal coat, is actually an anchor for a woman in business. So it's important that we all have a coat every time you actually go for formal meetings. And then talking about a watch accomplishes a professional look. You can't be checking. Imagine right now we're talking and probably it's a proper business meeting. Then you're checking the time on your phone. Chances are you're going to see a message that's probably going to say, oh, Tariro, we're actually on our way to Las Vegas tomorrow. Now you're excited, you won't be able to concentrate. Or you then get condolence message. Now you're thinking, oh, should I continue with, and are you even going to continue? Obviously, it's a situation where you have to break down during the presentation. So a watch is vital. It accomplishes
a working watch.
Oh yes, a working one.
Now that as an individual, I'm well packaged now, I'm well dressed. Because there are times that you see somebody nicely packaged, nicely dressed, everything is looking then go on to mannerisms, body language. It's going southwards.
Okay.
Unpack that for us.
Thank you, Terry. We said communication is 55% physiology.
Yes.
Which means the way we dress, the way we do our body gestures, also fits within the 55%.
Yes.
So when you talk about 38%, it's just your tone, and 7% is words. So what we mean by that is the way I am presented, the way I talk, the actual mannerisms that I do, the body language I show, then will mean more to people before they can actually judge you. Have you ever had a situation whereby someone comes to a presentation and maybe, let's talk of a tender situation, and someone is well dressed and they deliver their presentation, there is another person who probably is well dressed but can't deliver a presentation, and we have maybe another one who's not well dressed but delivers a presentation. Where do you think this sort of business will be going? Obviously to someone who has got good mannerisms and well presented, and also someone who's able to articulate
themselves,
their situations. So I believe it's important for one to be able to balance between that. And talking of posture, there are certain postures that will actually communicate otherwise. Imagine we are talking and conversing right now, and I'm looking the other side.
Yes.
I'm literally saying, oh, it's okay, you're talking about whatever you're talking about, but that's not what I want to, hear. I'm not paying attention.
Yes.
Then, where we cross our legs when we're sitting, the way we are crossed right now at the ankles, we don't want a situation whereby someone sits with their legs like this. We're literally saying, Prim, I'm the boss here. So even if I'm going to say something meaningful to you, Tariro, you won't listen to me because you already are communicating with your body language. And people should also avoid chewing a gum. It's very unprofessional. Yeah. And a lot of the times we do that, but
because we are feeling maybe there might be unpleasant smell, so the gum will suppress it, that kind of thing.
You can show it before you actually get into the meeting, but when you're in the meeting, it's now very, very unprofessional. And then talking about posture when you're doing a presentation, people should avoid a lot of, hand movement because it will look like you're fidgeting. But someone who's very composed, your hands are well placed and, legs a little bit astride if you're standing, and then you're not shaking. It's important because you are communicating that I'm confident or not by the way you are doing things. So it's the gestures and the movements that also fitted within this 55%. And also talking about words, now that we have touched on communication,
yes.
It means when you then start talking, think about what words to say, because your choice of words will also matter. Because imagine you're looking so good, but then what's
coming out of your mouth?
Yeah,
especially now with social media, with all these Facebook lives, you are seeing somebody nicely dressed, good looking, and then they go live. The things that come out of their mouths.
Yes, I think also just to talk about social media, now that you've also just mentioned it, my advice would be, it's important to have a brand, because we have our personal brands that also touch on the corporate brands of wherever we work for.
Yes.
You see. So, talking about a personal brand on social media, people have ghost accounts.
Yeah.
And you wonder, people, I think they feel or they think that because you're anonymous, you cannot be trusted.
Yeah.
Truth is, you can be trusted if people really want to know who you are. So it's important to know and mind what you post. And at the same time, I'm not saying don't post what you want.
Exactly.
But look, we're just saying for your personal brand, it's important. And also talking of employers these days, they look up what you post. If you talk politics, if you talk religion, and imagine you're supposed to come to an interview where I'm probably interviewing you as a potential candidate for some employment, and I realize you talk bad about a religion. I'm Catholic, you see, so probably you talk bad about Catholic, and I'm thinking, okay, should we hire such a person when you're going to clash already? You see, so it becomes a problem when people talk about religion, talk about social issues to do with gender. It's
just
important.
going overboard.
Yes, going overboard.
These,
over certain things. So it's important to leave politics alone if people can, right? And also leave religion, gender issues, anything that you feel will end up making people feel like you're attacking them when you're probably just talking to a certain group of people. So it's important.
Well, we haven't even covered half of what her book on grooming and etiquette consists of. We'll make sure that we invite Prim again, but it is my hope that we have picked some important nuggets in terms of grooming ourselves, how we carry ourselves when we are at different events. Definitely we wanted to talk about issues of even table mannerisms. We know that's one issue that we still have, even how we carry culturally, all these aspects. So we'll make sure we'll carry this discussion forward in the near future. Until we meet again next week, it's goodbye.